Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I have been MIA for quite some time now. I think it's been like about 2 weeks since I last posted my last video, but a lot has been going on. So I was like, what the heck? So I did say I was gonna post up my labor and delivery video of when I gave birth to my first daughter, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna kind of like, how can I say, like talk about both the labor and deliveries and how they were both different. So for today, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the story time of when I found out I was pregnant of my twins. So if you guys are interested, then just keep on watching. So it went back to my oldest daughter was about 6 months, I believe. 6 months. So me and my husband, we would hardly go out. Like, we would hardly go out, because for the same reason that my daughter was so small. She was my firstborn. I just wanted to spend time with her. So it got to the point, I think, that we told his parents if they were able to watch her, and we went to the movies after we had dinner, and then we came home. So I have a feeling that's maybe when it happened that I got pregnant. I don't know. So I hid it. I hid it from my mom. I hid it from everybody. Nobody knew I was pregnant except for my husband's cousin. She was the very first person that I told, because actually the day that I found out I was pregnant, she had gone over to the house. So I did the test in the morning, because it says, that's when the results are more effective. So I did the test in the morning, and they got there like in the afternoon. So when they got there, I just had to tell somebody. So I told her, I was like, you know what, like, I just took a test and I'm pregnant. And she told me, she's like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, dude, you just had a baby, like, what is that you're gonna do? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, fuck, well, what can I do? I mean, so I've always been against abortions. Always been against abortions. But at that time, and I know I'm gonna get like a lot of shit talk too because of that, but at that moment, my first thing was abortion. I'm not gonna have this baby because I just had a baby not that long ago. I can't put myself through that. And I thank God that he freaking got me out of that idea, because I was set, I was like, I'm gonna have an abortion. So I let my husband know, and my husband was just like, well, what is that you plan on doing? He was like, I'm with you on whatever, like whatever it is that you want to do, we'll go ahead and we'll do it. You want to have an abortion, we'll do an abortion. You want to have the baby, we'll have the baby. He was like, I mean, it's just one more baby, we're gonna get him out of the way. And I was just like, no. So I was like, yes to the abortion and no to the abortion. So I was just like iffy about it. So I was like, what do I do? So I was like this close to actually having an abortion. And I was just like, damn. So last minute, I was like, you know what? Like, I can't do it, and I'm not gonna do it. And I remember I started crying because I was like, oh my God, like, I can't believe it. Like, I've always been against abortions. And there I go, like me, like a dumbass thinking about an abortion. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? So after that happened, I had to, it was kind of weird how I told my mom, because I remember my mom had gotten my daughter's little footprints on her back as a tattoo. So I remember I had told my mom, like, oh, I want to get something with her name on it too. So this was the way I told my mom. I was like on the phone with her, and I was like, Ama, cuando estás embarazada puedes hacerte un tatuaje. And she was just like, no, estás pendeja, like, you can't, because you're pregnant. But that was like me in a way trying to tell her. And then I was like, oh, and she's like, ¿por qué? ¿Estás embarazada? And I was just like, creo que sí, ama. And my mom, she didn't flip. She just told me, like, you just had a baby 6 months ago, and there you go again getting pregnant. What are you thinking? Are you guys not taking care of yourselves? And I was like, I think, Mom, it's not a for sure. I told her like that, but I already knew I was pregnant. So then I had to tell my suegra. So what I did was I told her, I was like, you know what? I was like, no me ha bajado. I was like, creo que estoy embarazada. And she told me the same thing. Like, you struggled with this one to give birth, and now you're going to go and get pregnant again. You guys need to take it slow. You guys need to start taking care of yourself. You better pray that you're not. And I was just like, I don't know, I think I might be. But I already knew. So what I did was, I wasn't really driving at the moment, at the time. So what I did was, I remember I told my husband, like, we already knew I was pregnant. We were just hiding it from everybody else. So what I told my husband was, you know what, I need the truck. I need to go to the doctor. And he told me, he was like, well, what doctor are you going to go to? And I'm like, well, the closest one we have. I was like, they do free pregnancy tests. Excuse me. I was like, they do free pregnancy test and I'll go from there. And he was like, okay, take my mom with you so she can watch the baby for you. And I was like, okay. So we got there, and with the twins, I was about almost 2 months pregnant already. That's how like bad I was hiding it. Like, I was almost 2 months pregnant already. So I remember I went and I filled out the forms and everything as a new patient. I asked for my insurance. I gave everything. So I walked in, and as soon as I was like, I took a seat, they called me up and they were like, you know what, like, your test came back positive. So you're gonna talk to the nutritionist and she's gonna let you know like everything you have to do. And I was just like, okay. So I went and I sat down with my suegra, and I was like, and she told me, she's like, ¿Qué pasó? And I was like, well, que si estoy embarazada. And then she was like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah. I was like, sí estoy embarazada. And I was like, dicen que salió el resultado rápido, so que ya llevo meses embarazada. She's like, and you're barely telling me like now, like, come on, like, you should have been able to tell. And I was just like, yeah. I was like, es que me siguió bajando, which was another lie, because like my period, I guess since I've been regular, like my period was like just not coming at all. So I was like, oh, es que me volvió a bajar. And I was like, but I don't know. I was like, I guess, like, like, ya estaba embarazada. So then, she tells me, pues regale a Dios que no sean dos, porque mi familia corren mucho los gemelos. And I was just like, no. I was like, yo no quiero dos. And I was like, con uno va a ser más que suficiente. And I remember I was texting my uncle, my daughter's padrino, and I was texting him, and I was like, you know what, tío, like, I'm pregnant. I just found out I'm pregnant. And he told me, well, hopefully it's the boy. Keep your fingers crossed. And then he told me, messing around, imagínate, flaca, que sean gemelos. And I was just like, nah. I was like, I think it's only one. I was like, I don't think. Because in my family, twins do not run in my family at all. At all. So I was like, no, tío. I was like, no se puede. So walking in, they gave me my prenatal pills, my iron, my vitamins, everything they gave me. And they're like, okay, well, we're just waiting for the ultrasound tech to get here, and he's going to take you in and do your ultrasound so he can let you know, like, when's your expected due date, like, how far along are you, how big the baby is. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went and I sat down with my suegra, and we were laughing about it. Like, she was like, imagínate que sean dos. And I was like, no, like, it's not going to happen. So then the ultrasound tech gets there, and he's like, oh, you can come in. So I went in. And he was like, okay, so you're 7.5 weeks far along. And he's like, se queda viendo, And I was just like, okay, like, I know I'm pregnant already, And I was just like, okay. And then he's like, ¿corren gemelos en tu familia? And I was like, no. Why? And then he was like, well, you have 2 babies in here. And I was like, no. I was like, it can't be. And he was like, yeah, you have 2 babies in here. He was like, look, this is baby A. And I heard the heartbeat. It was a little bit stronger. He was like, and this is baby B. And and like, so yeah, but it wasn't like strong. So obviously they always say when it's twins, there's always a heartbeat that's stronger, and the other one is like a little bit more, not strong, not weak, but it's just not as, like, no se oye tan fuerte like the baby A. So I was like, no. I was like, it can't be. And he was like, really? So I started crying. I started bawling, and I was like, what do you mean I'm having twins? Like, no, it can't be. And he was like, yeah. He was like, mira, aquí están. And so he's like, mira, like, baby A. He was like, there's a little bag right here, and then there's a little bag over here. And he was like, okay, this one was conceived first, and then this one was conceived 3 days after, because their difference is 3 days. In my head, I always thought when twins, they would conceive the same day. But apparently not. If the sperm mixed its way up, I think it's like a couple of days before it dies in you. So apparently that baby made it before it died. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, yeah. So I started bawling. I started crying and crying. And he's just like, no estás contenta? And I was like, no. I was like, I'm just in shock. What do you mean twins? And he was like, yeah, look. He showed me the heartbeat. I was in disbelief. I was just like, no, like, it can't be. It can't be. It can't be. So he showed me the heartbeats again, and he was like, en la familia de tu esposo. And I'm just like, yeah. I was like, my brother-in-law just told me. And I was crying, and he was just like, I don't know if you're crying because you're scared. I don't know if you're crying because you're happy. And I'm like, it's mixed emotions. So then he was like, okay. He was like, well, step outside. He gave me my ultrasound pictures and everything. And I walked out, and you were able to tell because I was crying. So I called my husband, and back then he wasn't able to answer. So I would only have to like text him. So I called him and he didn't answer. And I was just like, it's an emergency, dude. Like, pick up. So then I sent him a text. And he remembers clearly what I said in the text. And I still remember clearly what I said in the text. It said, call me as soon as you can. I'm going to, excuse my language, fucking kill you. So like this, I got a call back. And he was like, what happened? He's like, I'm pumping gas. What happened? And I was like, so I'm pregnant. And he was like, okay, we already knew. How far along are you? And I was like, 7 weeks. And then he was like, oh, okay, almost 2 months. He was like, okay. And I was like, but I'm pregnant with twins. And he stood quiet. And he was just like, you're fucking lying. And I was like, I'm dead serious. I was like, I'm pregnant with twins. He's like, stop fucking around with me, Diana. I was like, I'm serious. I'm pregnant with twins. And then he was like, what did my mom say? I was like, I haven't told her. And then he was like, what the fuck are we gonna do? It's not only one, it's two. And I was like, I don't know. He was like, all right. He's like, I'll talk to you when I get home. And I was like, all right. So as soon as I walk out, my mother-in-law noticed me that I was crying. And she was just like, ¿qué pasó? Like, I guess the worst crossed through her head, you know, that the baby was probably dead. I don't know. And she just looked and she's like, ¿qué pasó? And I started crying again. And she's like, ¿qué? And I was like, voy a tener dos. And she's like, te dije. Great. So we get home and my father-in-law gets home. My father-in-law like tells her, you know, like, ¿qué pasó? And then she was like, está embarazada tu nuera. And he was like, ¿otra vez? And then she's like, yeah, pero ahora son de dos. And he was like, pues si te comiste la torta bien. And I was just like, oh my God. So my husband gets home and my father-in-law tells me, you know, well, congratulations, you know what, you guys are pregnant again, like, and it's 2 this time, so you know, like, you guys have to step it up now, and we're gonna need a bigger house. And I was just like, fuck my life. Like, I had mixed emotions, and I was just like, what the fuck am I gonna do? So then after that, I started letting my mom, I remember I told my sister, and I told my sister, do not say anything. Please do not say anything. I'm pregnant, and I'm pregnant with twins. And she just told, I remember she told me, she's like, you're fucking lying. And I was like, I'm fucking serious. Like, I'm pregnant with twins. And I was sending everybody the picture of like the two little bags. And I was like, I'm fucking dead serious. So then I told my mom, and my mom told me the same thing, you know, like, te tienes que cuidar because it's not only one, it's two. I was just like, I know. So then after, I started going to my ultrasounds. He never missed an ultrasound. It would be weird when he would actually miss an ultrasound. And I remember when we went and we found out that they were going to be 2 girls, he told the doctor, he was like, are you sure there's nothing that can grow in between their legs? Maybe it's small. And then they were like, no, like, we're 100% sure it's 2 girls, baby A and baby B. They're both girls. So when we found out it was 2, we were like, oh, okay, you know, we'll knock 2 out in 1. But we didn't get our boy. I love my girls regardless. And it was shocking. It was a really shocking news. Everybody was actually excited for me because I guess since it wasn't my first pregnancy, like, I mean, everybody knows, you know, what happens. And everybody was pretty like, oh my God. And I am the first in my family to have twins. So it's like it's a trip, and I've learned so much. And I remember I would always be like, no, I don't want twins. I don't want twins. But believe me, it's the biggest blessing. I mean, any kid in general is a big blessing. But being able to carry 2, even 3, no, that's a freaking blessing. And after I actually did give birth to them, we were planning on letting them be at least 2 years old. Because like that, they were going to be 2 and the oldest one was going to be 3. And we were going to go for the boy. But when I went to the doctor, they said that since twins run in his family really, really strong, because from his dad's side of the family, I believe his dad's dad has twins in his family, and the dad's mom has twins in the family. And then from my mother-in-law's side, it's the same thing, something like that. So in twins in his family run really, really strong. So they told me that if I were to try for the boys, since twins do run pretty strong in his family, and I have experienced a twin pregnancy, I can end up with triplets. So that's why I have not gone for the boy, because I'm scared, but I know I can take it, because I mean, I've given birth to 2 little girls. So I mean, I'm just scared that it's gonna be 3. My family's gonna grow like this, and I think I can handle it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can handle it, because it's amazing what like the female body can do. But I think I'd go crazy if I were to get pregnant, if I were to have another pregnancy with twins, or if I were to have a pregnancy with triplets. I think I would go crazy. And yeah, like, I mean, everybody was excited. I remember my grandma, my mom's mom, when I actually walked into her house, like, she told me, so son dos, and I was just like, yeah. And it's an amazing experience. Like, I have a lot of thank God for both pregnancies. I did not get sick. I did not get no morning sickness. I didn't get nothing at all. Yeah, I mean, it was like a little shorter than the first one, because obviously I believe like my first one, it's more like everybody was more in shock. Everybody had more to say than my second pregnancy, because my second pregnancy, and then again, it was 2, so everybody was like head over heels, like, oh my God, you're expecting 2. And then when everybody found out it was gonna be 2 girls, like, they were like, oh my God, like, what is your husband gonna do? Like, he has 4 girls now, que va a hacer? And I'm just like, deal with it. Like, what else can he do? But yeah, in the next video, I don't want to keep talking. So in my next video, I am gonna try my very best to post it up on Thursday. If I can on Thursday, I am gonna try my best to do it Friday. Friday, I am gonna be a little bit more busy. I'm gonna actually take you guys along with me, because Friday my sister's getting induced. So my sister, she texted me. She was like, sister, I'm getting induced. And I was like, yes, finally we get to be maybe Mia. But I'll be taking you guys with me. I'll be recording. I'll be vlogging everything of... I'm going to try to actually, like, when I vlog in the hospital, because I am going to be watching my nephews. So I believe she is going to be getting induced in the morning, Friday morning. And I need to pick up my nephews early. So what I'm going to try to do is have my mom stay with my nephews, like, in the waiting area. And then we try to get, like, a little piece or something. And then from there, like, I'll be vlogging with my nephews here, because I'm gonna have them over. They're probably gonna be staying over with me. And yeah, and then I'll go ahead and my next video would be my experience with both of my deliveries, like my both labor and deliveries. Completely opposite of what I expected. Completely opposite. For Analia, I expected a really smooth labor and delivery, and it was pretty hectic. For the twins, I expected a little bit more rough, and it was pretty smooth. But if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell so you can get notified every time I post a new video. And please just bear with me. I am still trying to get the hang of this. I'm still trying to like work around my schedule for this. But yeah, my next video, it'll be like my labor and delivery story, and then probably I'll be vlogging when my sister's gonna be in like the delivery room, and when I meet my baby niece. And then after that, we'll just go from there. But thank you so much for watching, and see you guys on the next video. Bye.